Ladies and gentlemen, our maid of honor, Chrissy.
Oh my god. Thank you. Oh, I just messed up my hair with that one. So I'm gonna toast with champagne because I have no parental control set for me tonight. So, first and foremost, Victoria, you make the most stunningly beautiful bride. You truly are the most beautiful woman in the room. I've never seen someone look at a bride the way Dave looked at you walking down the aisle today. The last time I saw Dave look remotely close to that happy was about an hour ago when they announced your hors d'oeuvres were ready. But, Dave, I really want to thank you for making it this weekend. I heard you had to postpone your colonoscopy to attend. That was extremely brave of you. I'm not trying to say Dave is old, but AARP did offer to sponsor this event. So make sure you grab your pamphlets on the way out, everybody, all right? Don't forget. So I'm getting ahead of myself. I almost forgot to introduce myself. If I haven't had the chance to meet you, my name is Chrissy, and I have been Victoria's best friend since 2005. We actually met in 2002, but we couldn't stand each other. As you can see, things eventually changed for the better, and Victoria is not only my best friend, she's my sister. She's the sister I never had, but I actually biologically have one. Victoria, growing up with you, I always looked up to you. You're the definition of loyal. I could probably accidentally total your car and you'd be like, it's fine, I have insurance, I love you, you're still so perfect. In high school, I always looked up to you for your kindness to anyone who ever came in your presence. I always said in high school, you could have sat at any lunch table because you treated everyone so kindly, no matter where they stood in the social hierarchy of high school, because you were everyone's friend. And even now, you're the first person to help a stranger with a cane up the stairs. You hold the door open for any elderly person. And when you're driving, you always let people turn in front of you, which I'm not actually a fan of, but that's because I'm always in a rush. We for sure haven't always agreed on everything, and we've had our fair share of fights, but I'm glad we can always have always been able to set aside our differences and find a common ground on how we can relate to each other, both having fathers who were mailmen, grandfathers who played basketball together back in the day, our passion for true crime, love for drama TV series like One Tree Hill and Grey's, and impatience for people who chew loudly. I love you, and I'm so honored to be your maid of honor. So, let's take a look at this beautiful couple right here, right? That's why we're all here. The first time I heard Victoria mention Dave's name is when she came home from their first official date. She lived with me at the time and didn't tell me she had a date before she left the house. I just remember seeing her getting ready, looking all cute, and was like, what you doing? So, just to make sure she was safe, I stalked her ass. I figured out they were at the gristmill, so I popped my head in to see this silver fox named Dave gazing into my friend's eyes, practically hypnotizing her. I knew at that moment I had lost her. Goner. Total goner. Victoria never saw me at gristmill that day, by the way. But when she came home, I demanded an explanation. She started with, so yeah, his name's Dave, he's from Taunton, he's like so nice, so respectful, such a gentleman. And I was like, go on. And she was like, he's 41 and has 2 kids, he has a Mustang too. And I was like, wait, rewind, stop, what? Back it up. And she was like, the Mustang? I'm like, no, the 41 and have 2 kids, what are we doing here? Please don't get too attached. Thankfully, Victoria has never been good at taking my advice on guys, and now 5 years later, you're marrying the guy I told you not to get too attached to. Once I really got to know Dave, I became less bitter that Victoria didn't take my advice. I didn't know what to expect when meeting Dave at first. I mean, yeah, once you get to know him, he's charming, kind, will do anything for anyone, and to top it all off, he's an amazing father. So I kind of figured out why Vic took so long to introduce me to Dave. She was afraid I was going to like him more than I like her. But Dave is otherwise a kind of hard person to read by first look. You meet him, and he's 6'2" with all the muscles, besides his calves. And he's covered in tattoos, and then you find out he loves candles, enjoys gardening in his free time, and he talks to his dog Cora like, "Hi, my baby. Oh, you're so cute." Way to bust through every stereotype of being a meathead, by the way. Congratulations. Dave, I remember being fully won over by you when I realized Victoria was dating the literal male version of me. From how we prefer our burgers thin like McDonald's, to how you prefer drums over flats, loving Grand Theft Auto, the game, of course, watching The Challenge, yellow cupcakes and chocolate frosting. I could go on and on and on. The most important thing that we do have in common, though, is our love for that girl right there. The day you two met could easily be considered one of the best days of my life, too. Not only because of how much I adore you as a person, Dave, but because from that day on, I was put at ease knowing Victoria's heart was safe. In that day in DR in 2020, when you told me you were going to propose, I thought, God, she finally found someone who knows her worth and appreciates her. And Dave, you were one of the best people in my life too. I would honestly take a bullet for you. And I'm so happy I'm stuck with you forever too. I admire how you two are always looking out for each other. You two do great things for each other, and it's truly inspiring. You're both very driven people who have seamlessly integrated your lives together. And so now I hear it's typical to end off giving some sort of marriage advice in your speech. However, I'm no expert on marriage, but I am an expert on Victoria. So Dave, since my best friend has abandoned me for life, now that you've given her an in-ground pool, a puppy, and everything she could ever wish for, I guess I'll share some insight from someone who has spent most of her life with her. So, number 1, love Clifford like he were your own. 2, always tell her how pretty she looks. 3, always be prepared for her to cry at any given moment. I wouldn't dare call her sensitive though, but she has given Kleenex the majority of their business. And this is super important, so please do not forget. Practice reciting these 3 words to Victoria, and I guarantee you success in any scenario. You are right. Today, Victoria, I not only continue to look up to you in regard of how kind and selfless you are, but additionally, I look up to you in how well you treat your partner, how you've represented that true love is real, and how amazing of a mother you are. Amber and Tyler are so lucky to have you. And as someone who has watched your relationship with Dave from the very beginning, I look up to you in how to have a loving partnership that continues to surprise each other and be supportive of each other each and every single day. So with that being said, let's raise our glasses to the power of love that makes all these wonderful things happen. To Mr. David Coletti and Mrs. Victoria Coletti. Here's to the groom who has a bride so fair, and here's to the bride with a groom who is so rare. Cheers!
All right, give her a nice big round of applause out there, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful job there, Chrissy.
It's TMP Empire.